everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a paralegal's tips video. I got a comment from a subscriber. Let me find it first. So I got a comment from a subscriber who said, could you do a video just focusing on paralegal life? I'm currently in school for it now and I would love some extra tips and advice. So I did a video giving tips before, but I accidentally deleted it, and something was going on that night. I was uploading a video and I just kept trying to upload this particular video and accidentally deleted the paralegal tips video. So I decided to just redo it and make it a whole lot better because I don't feel like I focused on enough stuff in that video before. So just a few background about me. My name is Lisa. I'm 32 years old. I have 3 children. Byron is 12, Landon is 4, Ryan is 9 months. And I am a paralegal. I've been a paralegal for a very long time now, and I've been in the legal industry for over 12 years. I have a bachelor's degree in paralegal studies. So my field of work has been predominantly in personal injury. I've worked on both plaintiff side and defense side, and I honestly prefer the defense side, and I'll explain that as we get into this video. So I did personal injury, I've done some workers' comp, and that's really it. I haven't got anything else. I did have a job as a receptionist at a asbestos firm. So basically I started out as a file clerk at a bankruptcy firm, yeah, and then I moved on to be a receptionist at an asbestos malpractice firm, and then after that I became a paralegal at a plaintiff's firm, and then after that I became a legal assistant at a defense firm, and that's where I got experience on both sides. And then after that I became a workers' comp paralegal, and then now at the firm that I'm at, a paralegal. So I'm going to give a few tips that I think are really helpful. I literally didn't have anyone to kind of like be a mentor or to get advice. Now, working in the field, I did have a few people that were willing to give me advice that I work with, but sometimes you're not going to have that. Like, a lot of people don't really want to invest that time, and even attorneys don't even want to invest that time. Usually starting out, they want you to have experience. If you are looking for a job and you happen to find a job that is opening for entry level, then they usually don't want to pay you, which is okay because you're just starting out. But yeah, so let's dive in. My first tip is having experience somewhat in the legal industry. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people who go to paralegal school usually don't have no experience in a law firm whatsoever. So it's like usually a retail job, but you have this degree, whether it's associates or bachelor's, but you have no legal experience. So sometimes it might be really hard to get your foot in the door as a paralegal. At least it was for myself. It was extremely hard to get a paralegal position with no experience. So like I said, I started out as a file clerk. That was my way of getting in, learning the legal terminology, knowing what certain pleadings were and the procedures in my city. And that is one of my tips, is to get in some way, whether it's a file clerk. If you don't want to do a file clerk, you can become a receptionist or a secretary. And a secretary is a perfect way to get your foot into the door if you're having a hard time getting a paralegal position, because if you are working for a paralegal and that paralegal is out, for instance, on vacation, or she called out, or whatever the case may be, you have that time to step up to the plate and show that firm what it is that you're capable of. So that, you know, being willing to be a helping hand will show that firm that, you know, if need be, if this person moves on, we could put you in that spot. And definitely convey your interest in wanting to grow, because I did that and it definitely helped me. I started out as a legal secretary at one particular firm, and I had my degree, and I was just like, you know, I can do it. I don't know why I'm doing it secretary. I was just trying to get experience, and anytime I could help, I was willing. You need me to help me anything, I was always willing to help. And when it came time to get promoted, I did. And that is a perfect way to grow within the paralegal profession. My next tip would be to really focus on your resume. It's so many paralegals out here that are applying for jobs, and you will be surprised what these resumes look like. Really dig into what these firms are looking for, and try to copy that on your resume. That is a perfect way. I do that. I always go and update my resume and like make it sound tip-top shape. That is like one of the best things you can do. That resume is the first impression. I know it sounds cliche, but it is so true. Keep improving that resume. That is the first impression of who you are and what you have to offer that firm. Okay, so my next tip is to apply for entry-level positions. I already kind of dived into that a little bit. So applying for entry-level positions, you're definitely not going to get a salary that you really want, but it's a perfect way to get your foot in the door. Network with as many people as you can, especially attorneys. You never know when you will have to utilize somebody. Like, I was working with an attorney, a partner, for over 6 years. We had a very good working relationship, and he parted ways with the firm that I was with, and I was like extremely sad by it, but we kept in contact. When it came time for me to look for a job again, to move on from where I was at, I got in contact with him, and he told me that there was a position open at his firm, and he put a good word in for me because he knew my working abilities and everything like that. He even wrote me a recommendation letter. So I really strongly suggest you have good working relationships with all the attorneys that you have. Working with attorneys can be a bit rough. Honestly, you are working with like different personalities. They expect a lot from you. Some of them can be quite demanding, and then you may have some that are very nice, that are very easygoing. You just never know until you get the job. But you have to be open-minded, you have to always be professional, and you always have to be pleasant, and you just have to be prepared. Another thing that I want to say is that being a paralegal, you will have some days where you're just hitting the ground running. It's just busy, and then you'll have some days where it's just slow, and you're like literally looking for work to do. So that's just the name of the game. I think it's a really cool job. I really like being a paralegal. I think it's just something that I'm interested in. I've always been really interested in working up cases and like investigating things and gathering up evidence and blah. What I will say is that the salaries are very like up and down. Definitely do research about the salaries in your area. Every state pays differently, and it's just a give or take type of thing. Like, it's just no guarantee. Like, you might get lucky and get a bomb salary, and then you might just be struggling to make ends meet trying to get the perfect salary. Like, for a while I wasn't getting a salary that I wanted for a very long time, and I just kept working at it, and now I'm able to work at a very like well-known firm, and it took a very long time to get to that point, but it doesn't have to take that long for another paralegal. It's just the route that I happen to take. Another thing that I would say that is really important is to perfect your craft. Keep learning. There's always things to learn in the legal industry. Civil rules, it's just like so much that you can literally learn, and you want to be on your SHIT. Like, you literally want to be on your shit. You really do. Like, you don't want to be that paralegal that really don't know what she's doing, because it will get around and people will talk about you, because that's just how it is in law firms. You want to know what you're doing. You want to perfect your craft, and you want to be meticulous. You want to be very attention to detail, like all that stuff that they say in those job ads. You really want to be. You want to look at stuff. You want to overlook it. You are the second eyes to your attorney. They go to you and they rely on you, and you'll realize that once you start working how much it is, or how important it is when you're in that setting. So every day I try to improve. So I work for a defense firm, and when you work for a defense firm, you have to meet your billable hours, and that can be like really daunting. So it depends what side that you want to work on. Being on the plaintiff side is quite it's always something. So being on the plaintiff side is quite demanding as well, because you have clients calling constantly, checking on the status of their cases, and you have to really have customer service in order to deal with that. You have to have patience. So it's a lot that come with that as well. I didn't mind it. The volume was quite large, I would say, but I still was able to manage it. I just prefer the defense side. It's like mellow, it's calm, it's quite intriguing too to investigate on the people that are on the other side. So I like that, opposed to dealing with the clients who are making up false claims sometimes, you know. And it's quite interesting, to say the least. It's a really interesting field, especially if you're in personal injury. So yeah, I think that is really it. If you ever have any like particular questions, or you have a certain question you want to ask me, definitely leave it down below. I'll definitely respond. If you want to do like a Q&A video, definitely let me know. I'll be willing to do so. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, because it'll let me know how you enjoyed this video. And subscribe to the channel. And yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for watching.